Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody going today? All right, so the idea is I announced this in a Transformer group because people got really upset about my video from like 2 years ago, and I offered them the opportunity to come on live stream, and if they want to, they can argue their point. And so far, I've had one person say they were interested, and they have not hit me back yet. Let me double check, make sure. Nope, they have not responded since the last message hours ago. So, here's what's going to happen. If somebody wants to come on and take the position of Optimus being the better leader, and we can argue that out or debate it out, you're welcome to do so. Just let me know so I can post a server link, and then you can hop in and do that. Otherwise, this is just going to be a chill stream, and we can just go from there. Which is more likely because I don't think many people are going to show up. I think anybody who was interested probably pushed out by now. Because they are weak. Just got done on Retro Blasting's channel talking about Super 7, NECA, and some of the other problems with the toy industry, and made some people very, very upset in the chat because I suppose they're used to not being addressed. It's fascinating. Everybody has an opinion, but the minute you challenge them, ooh, they freak out on you. Hello, Dr. Dictator, Grim 2, Emmy. Child, you will not fight me. I haven't been able to sit and watch them yet, Grim. I've been so doggone busy. Read them all. What am I supposed to read? You don't know who Rodimus is? Huh. What community are you from, Dr. Dictator? Oh, thank you for the super chat, Sal. I appreciate it. I don't know enough about lore at all. Throw in a monkey wrench, pun intended. Rodimus versus Optimus Primal. Are we talking about a straight up fight, or are we talking about as far as leadership goes? Rodimus is better because he's got the touch. Well, so does Optimus Prime, so, you know. Negative comments. Negative comments. Emmy, you're 14 and you're like 4'5" and 20 pounds sopping wet. I'm not worried about you beating me up, kiddo. Okay, so in terms of leadership, I'd still say it would have to go to Rodimus, because Optimus Primal was a fantastic leader, but sometimes he had a hard time getting the objective done. Whereas Rodimus didn't tend to struggle too much with that outside of his own personal self-doubt. In a straight-up fight, it had to go to Optimus Prime. Because as much as I think Optimus is a bad leader, I don't think his ability as a warrior is under any question here. Japanese man here, Optimus ain't crap on Gundam, baby. Well, Gundam's an older franchise. I will say in a straight-up fight, though, Optimus would have the advantage over a Gundam simply due to reaction time, and I don't think new type abilities would work on a sentient mechanoid. Thank you very much for $5 from World of Cardboard. I grew up with Doctor Who. I was used to changing characters when Prime died. I was looking forward to the new stories. Brutal, but nice. Optimus is better leader. Rodimus didn't get to rule for long. But I've argued that Rodimus is the better leader because he accomplished more than Optimus did. Like, he accomplished a lot more. Optimus cured the universe of the hate plague, so clearly he's better. Yeah, the entire reason he was able to cure the universe of the hate plague is ultimately because the fact that humans didn't want to let him burn in the sun where he belonged. They rescued him, and he had the hate plague on his carcass. But we have nuclear reactors, though, funny man. I mean, you do, but there's a lot more to combat than that. Rodimus blew up a planet. Yes, he did. It had it coming. It looked at him funny. Like, I don't know if you actually watched the video, Grim. Optimus versus Master Asia. No, okay, that's just mean. All right, we don't pit much of anything against Master Asia. That's not a fair fight. How's it going, action figure expert? Thankfully, there's nobody here tonight that wants to argue with a bird puppet, so that's a plus. I can't believe he did that. Are the real life Transformers good in your opinion? Oh, you're talking about the Michael Bay films? No, they weren't good. Is it pronounced Shizuo or Shizao? Who is Rodimus? I only know Prime. We need to have you watch old cartoons, Emmy. That's why you need to be on Zoomers React tomorrow. How's it going, Jeff? Glad to see you in the chat. Always good to see a like-minded person who doesn't put up with anybody's nonsense. Optimus taking back leadership kind of contradicts Dark Awakening, since that episode Optimus acknowledged Hot Rod as the true leader of the Autobots. Yeah, that entire... the very end of that season was kind of a weird mess. Oop, hold on. MES tagged me. Emmy, do you think a tweet about leeches is going to bother me? Like, Stallion Slaughter did a whole video on that. Like, I agree with his assessment. How's it going, Hateful? Oh, so Shizuo. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I've seen you commenting a lot. I'm surprised you're on my channel, because I don't often get Japanese people here. More often than not, it's just angry boomers who are mad because how you criticize toy I like. You bad man. I wonder if Motu's wife came along after getting the milk. I don't know if the milk ever got gotten. Reggie, I liked Rodimus because I felt he was more himself. Optimus Prime felt like he had a speech written out every time he talks. Well, that's true. Optimus Prime, he's good for like a father figure. He's got a lot in terms of personality. But like as far as a leader, and again, when I measure this out, I measure it out from like accomplishments. He just doesn't have much under his belt. Are we talking about IDW, Optimus, and Rodimus? No, G1. I don't delve into the comics when I talk about these things because my focus is animation, though I do love comics. But I think it's just more even kill to keep them on the realm in terms of cartoons. Because if we go into comics, oh man, we're going to be here a while. And of course, I doubt anybody's ever going to show up. So we got to just turn this into a general Transformer conversation. Ever since you mentioned the reject trunk, return to monkey, I've been walking around muttering to myself, so have I. Oh my god. I knew of Transformers as a kid, but Beast Wars was my first actual entry. You need to get the new Optimus Primal. He is super neat. Optimus was a whiner. Yeah, it's almost like young people doubt themselves. English may be my third language, but I'm fluent. Don't ask me to spell, man. Can't do it. English grammar is 8. Stephen Smith, I suppose Optimus had to deal with Megatron, whereas Rodimus had to deal with Galvatron, who was completely insane and unpredictable. Yes, which is actually worse than Megatron, because at least he had logic to his things. But does Rodimus have fire b-ball skills? No, but he has a fire decal on his chest. He kept Autobots from going extinct. That's a major accomplishment. Well, a stalemate can be, but that's one. Also, like, if your accomplishment of stalemating is over decades, there's a problem. Okay, need to know where you're coming. That's fair. That's fair. M goes Transformers kids he does are hilarious. Sometimes they are. I still need to pick a fight with him. He called me a snowflake because I complained about MP Lio Convoy. There will be vengeance. I'll debate with you. Okay. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll pass you a link to the server. Do you think the children's anger over Rodimus' breath is unjustified and just being babies? No, I don't think it's unjustified. You have to understand, up until that point, Optimus had been blown up. He had had his entire body disassembled and put in places. Nobody had died up to that point. It was just jarring. It was really jarring for kids to go to a theater and see a whole bunch of their favorite characters die. So I don't think it's babies. It's just, they're kids. I mean, they're kids. Lyle steals all of M goes pizza bagels. No, those never cook well. Optimus ain't got nothing on Metabots. 90s children rise up. Oh my god. I bet it's Dark Awakening to accept the audience. Look at that ending. Well, it's pretty horrific. Ooh. Grabbing a soda's pop and some smokes. Maybe 15, 20. Killer. Alligator Con. Yes. But the question is, Shizuo, can they withstand the King of Braves? Do you think a Pop-Tart could penetrate Optimus Prime's armor? Maybe the Michael Bay Optimus Prime. Don't worry, further one. I got you. I got you. And my daughter is currently at a friend's house doing whatever teenagers do. Until Jeff hops on, feel free to ask questions, make mockery, whatever you guys want to do. We can just chat and chill. Nathan Cloud. Almost meat. See here. I mean, they fight with all their limbs gone, so I hope there's that bad design. So tell me, Lyle Convoy, is your knowledge on your Transformer cartoon as fast as Thundercats? Not as fast. I do love Transformers, but it's not as encyclopedic as Thundercats, because Transformers has so many different series, whereas Thundercats is much more limited. What do you think of the G1 episode of Buildmasters? Some say it's one of the best. I think it's... My personal favorites are always the ones with Dinobots in them, because I'm biased. I'm heavily biased. Grimlock me king better! The roof of anyone's mouth is a weak point to a hot Pop-Tart. True. Also, Funko is seemingly creating a bunch of Masters of the Universe buildings, monuments, and such in the near future, and they'll be much cheaper. Thoughts? I haven't seen them. I'll have to comment when they show some. What's your thoughts on Kang Toys Predaking Combiner? I haven't seen it. I could never decide if I didn't like Rodimus because of my anger for the death of Prime movie, or if the writers didn't make Rodimus look like a strong enough leader. Lyle, what's the speed of light per Fortnite? I don't play Fortnite. I honestly couldn't tell you. Oh, Joe messaged me. He sent a voicemail. I'll have to check it later. It's a bit of a mixed bag with me. I loved Optimus Prime as a kid, and I didn't hate or really love Rodimus as a leader. I think he proved a much different dynamic as a leader, I suppose. True. What's your favorite incarnation of Optimus Prime? Oh, I like the Prime version. I do think you're a little harsh on Optimus. Yes, I am. However, I agree with you in general. Rodimus won a war in a few years that Optimus could only keep at all stalemate for thousands of years. When are you going to thank my brethren for animating the OG Thundercats in 2011? We love praise. I have spoken very highly of Pacific Animation Corporation many times. Not really big on the 2011 series, though. Sorry, I meant to use your number on the G1 cartoon as fast as Thundercats. Just G1 episodes. No, it's not. Let's see here. One of my children is contacting me, asking if I'm okay. Let's see here. I'll be sure to check that out a little bit later, Grim. I have the entire first wave of Kingdom already. Like, I love those things. They're overpriced, but I love them. Yeah, that's because I got my Facebook open, because that's how Grim prefers to communicate with me, because he claims I ate his mic, and that's why he won't come on. Grim! Get a mic, Grim! Last stream I said I like Spidey. To your pals said I love Spidey. Another one said read Batman. Be like man. I responded to her. Boy, I'm freaking men. Both Batman and Spider-Man are my favorite. Yes. I also have their crossovers. Really good. It takes time to make Chitara hot. We did firework both times. Doggone it. Hey, kiddo. I know you're spending time with your friends, so I didn't want to bug you. And thank you for joining us, Banksman, always. I just want to say I appreciate your earlier appearance on Retro Blasting. It was fun. I really enjoyed the conversation. I do have a mic. Well, then use it! Use it. Get in chat and, talk trash with me, man. Need backup. Need backup. They're going to freaking RoboCop me. You keep this up. Thank you, Brian. That was fun being there. Oh no, the Ancient One has awoken. Who's the Ancient One? Oh, Opal. Opal's not ancient. She is a small child. Wants to run Super 7's fade. I don't know what that terminology means. Hey, Lyle Convoy, are you kids searching in 15? Are they in 3rd and 4th grade? No. My children are technically legal adults for the most part. Except for Emmy. She's like a small 14-year-old child. Oh, Michael French. Who's Mike? Yes, Michael French. I always enjoyed watching you and Retro Blasting separately, and you're better together. Oh, it's fun. Like, I have some wild conversation with Michael French. Missy is shared custody. You want to fight Super 7 and call them out? True. When they keep making terrible mistakes, it's basically meaning, okay, that is fair. Cheeseburger. Carl, by the way, your art has been, like, improving leaps and bounds, man. I really like seeing that. What is your favorite Disney movie? I bet it's obvious. Tell me what you think my favorite Disney movie is, further one. Lion King, no, it's actually not. It's actually not. Actually, Aquamarine's right. One of my favorite Disney movies is The Great Mouse Detective. I mean, come on, look at the cast. You had Vincent Price. How could you not love that movie? Chinese Communist Party has entered the chat. Why you no make iPhone, Catman? I own one. I don't need to make them. Also, I'm Hispanic, so we make tacos. We don't make iPhones. Yes, Radigan. Opal here hasn't seen The Great Mouse Detective. Dr. Five's movies are awesome. I'll have to check them. Look. I really do like The Great Mouse Detective. If I'm not mistaken, it was also the very first Disney movie that used any form of computer animation. I'll watch it at your house. I do need to get the movie, so that's a good thing, Opal. Have you seen any of Michael Mercy's videos? Yes, I have. Michael Mercy's an interesting person, but I had to stop subbing to him and following him because he was following me on Twitter for a while, and then I mixed it up with a pedophile. And not only did I find out that he stopped following me due to that, but I think he also hid my comments on his channel. And I'd never brought any of that to his doorstep. And at that point I said, well, if that bothers him, which again is a speculation, I don't know if it actually does or not, if there's something else, I can't continue to support this man. So I stopped. The Great Mouse Detective is not only a great Disney movie, but a great Sherlock Holmes movie. Agreed. I really loved it. Matter of fact, for those of you who've seen Darkwing Duck, the statue in between the chairs that he uses to get from his house to the Audubon Bay Bridge is Basil from Baker Street. It's the Great Mouse Detective. It's a nod both to the Great Mouse Detective and to the 1960s Batman. The only good Disney flick is Tron. Oh, God. I literally have not seen that since I was an actual child. Favorite Transformers comic? Oh, man. Oh, man. I love the UK stories because they're so insane. But I also really liked Regeneration 1. I don't know why, but I kept thinking about... You're talking about Mighty Mouse, not Great Mouse Detective. Mighty Mouse is an interesting project. The Black Cauldron is the best. Well, it is. The Black Cauldron is fascinating and it's really dark, but man, they shot themselves in the foot releasing that to market. Like the Horn Keen alone. Oops. I am epic. Thank you for asking. Fantastic, Opal. Thoughts on Don Bluth's Titan? A fantastically animated, but I just wasn't drawn in by the story. I love Don Bluth's work. I genuinely do. Disney's version of 2000 Leagues Under the Sea was pretty great. Awesome effects, saints, and matching. Oh, the Great Mouse Detective. Man, I miss Radigan. Yes. Crueler than widows and orphans you drowned. God. You want to debate Paper Plane on TFP? Paper Plane doesn't strike me as a debate type. Like, he seems a lot more soft-spoken. He's very memey. I don't think he'd actually sit in a debate and argue about it. Does anyone know how long a license lasts? For example, with that Super 7 license, how long would they have control? It varies from company to company and contract to contract. I know when Bandai had Thundercats, it only lasted a couple years, and they failed miserably with that license. What's your least favorite animated Disney movie? Oh, man. God. You got to make me think on that one. I honestly couldn't tell you. Thoughts on Treasure Planet ahead of its time? Disney is a kid's thing, but they use that to push the envelope. The amount of parents and bad guys they embodied. You know, I don't think Disney's movies were a kid thing. I think they're an all-audience thing, and that's how they get so popular, because everybody will watch them. At least make a response vid. Then again, I guess it is his opinion. Well, dude, if I make a response vid for everybody who disagrees with me, I wouldn't get anything I want to do done. Hunchback of Notre Dame is my least favorite. That movie had no clear vision. That's not necessarily true, or not necessarily wrong. It took a lot more liberties than most of their stuff does for the tale. Favorite Thundercats 2011 episode? God, what was the name of that episode? It wasn't Birth. Was it Birth of the Blades? I don't think it was Birth of the Blades. Yeah, Birth of the Blades. It was Birth of the Blades. That was my favorite episode. Simply because it had really dynamic action scenes. Oh, if I may ask, who is your favorite Disney animated villain? Because most of the live action Disney baddies aren't great. Man. Shere Khan. And the reason why I like Shere Khan is because he doesn't hide who he is. He doesn't hide what he does. There's no deception with him. He's very straightforward. When he tells Mowgli, "I'm going to kill you, boy," he's going to kill him, and that's his intent. And he's unapologetic and unabashed by it. What about Studio Ghibli? Tragic Fall. We're going to 3D animation. F in the chat, boys. Ghibli's an interesting creature to research. Chicken Little will always be my least favorite Disney. Oh man, everybody is mean in that movie. That's a good contender. Last Day is the best Thundercats episode. Man, I'd have a real hard time telling you a favorite Thundercat episode because I love so many of them. Favorite Usagi Yojimbo story? Grass Cutter or Dice Show. Toon Maleficent. I mean, Maleficent did have that big D energy. Putting a curse because she wasn't invited to a party. Favorite Don Bluth scary creature design? Oh my god, the owl. I love the owl from Secret of Nim because he was perfect. He was like mystical foreboding. He was the type of character that you know he eats you, but at the same time you're going to him for wisdom and he'll respect that. Did you again show up during a Retro Blessing live stream you did earlier today, or is he gone for good? I think he's gone on my channel because I removed him from it, and I don't think he pays attention to Retro Blasting. I'm a fan of Lionel going through the gauntlet. I like the Anointment Trials better than whatever they cobbled together for 2011. You think Toy Galaxy is a sellout? He's really hard to pin. Hold on. You ever heard the Japanese metal band Anthem? No, but I do like One OK Rock. I saw somebody called John. What is it called? John Jog Vlog, I think is what it's called. Where he did a Toy Galaxy Exposed, where he rants about Toy Galaxy collecting toys. And at first I'm like, well, if that's just his opinion, I can understand that. That's subjective. And then it shows the rest of his channel trailer and the end credits that he's playing the Evangelion thing. I'm like, there is no consistency with your values, is there? You shouldn't collect toys because that's what kids do, but here's the Evangelion theme in the middle of my outro that totally wasn't, a kid's property in any way, shape, or form. Sir, I am at home, so Instagram or whatever. My name is literally Jeff. Okay, I'll go ahead. Jeff, do you have a Discord account? Emmy, stop posting selfies of yourself with blood splatter, child. I will ground you. Let's see here. Killer. So I'm going to go ahead and pass you the Discord link. Now, when you get into the server, you're going to hop into a room called, what is this? Stream waiting room. So you hop in, call there, and then I'll pull you in. So here's a link. Let's see here. Thoughts on G.I. Joe Classified? I stand with Retro Blessing's opinion, and that's proven accurate. It's Fortnite G.I. Joe. I've heard of Usagi Jimbo, never read it. I read the old comics or the new IDW. They're all the same story. So go back to the first issue and just read it all the way through. Hi, Lyle. What are your thoughts on the Unicron trilogy, toy lines, and cartoons? I think the Unicron trilogy was interesting, but the toy lines were a major step back in engineering, and I don't know why they did it like that. I wonder how long it'll take you to notice that I sent you a voice message. I'm not looking at Facebook. And if I were to play it, everybody would hear it, Grim. Thoughts on the Phantom Menace as a whole? I trust them about as far as an anvil can jump. Any group that says they're doing good and they name themselves after the villains, they can't be that bright. On the topic of Optimus and Rodimus to me, yes, I do have to give it to Rodimus due to the fact that he did end the war. So Optimus did fight through the war. I do love the pick Rodimus for one, okay? One OK Rock is Pretty Boy stuff. I live for 80s metal glory. Well, I'll have to look into what you recommended then, even though I don't speak much Japanese. Well, WTF, you're doing an Optimus and Rodimus debate without me. Well, I mean, Bossasaur, I could just pass you a link to the Discord server and you can hop in and we can have it out. I'm taking the pro Rodimus position. All right, let me move this gentleman in. Good evening.
Evening.
Welcome to the stream.
Thank you, sir. Happy to be here.
Good to have you. Let's see here.
Thank you.
I have to take my ACT tomorrow. Wish me luck, Lyle, man, Dad. I wish you luck.
Good luck, sir.
All right. So, did you want to talk about this?
Let's do this. So, first things first, though. My favorite Ghostbuster is Ectotron, so I'm just gonna leave it there. But I'll take the pro Optimus angle. Why not?
Sure.
Who goes first? You talk first. Do I talk first?
All right. I'll go ahead and lay out my argument, and then we'll go from there. All right.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay. So my argument is in terms of what they've accomplished under their leadership.
Okay.
Optimus, he was able to keep the Decepticons at a stalemate, but he lost the entirety of Cybertron. He didn't do too much outside of that. Even in the second season, when he outnumbered the Decepticons, he didn't gain any ground. At that point, he had greater firepower. He had a greater number of combiners. He never capitalized on it. So he never pressed his advantage. Rodimus, on the other hand, when Rodimus came into power, he drove the Decepticons from Cybertron, relegating them to a guerrilla warfare troop. He established Autobot rule. He helped back the Peace Conference, the Intergalactic Peace Conference, and he wound up finding and rescuing a group of Autobots on that one planet, Its name escapes me currently because it's late at night for me. I'm usually in bed by now. And I think that when you compare their accomplishments, which is the line I'm using, or the metric I'm using, Rodimus is the better leader because he's gotten better results and achieved more in his tenure of the Autobots than Optimus did.
Okay. Solid points all around. Like, honestly, Rodimus did do all that. Rodimus wouldn't be able to do that if Optimus didn't, die. That's what I'm calling an accomplishment. Optimus dying was probably one of the best things that could have happened to the Transformers. Because A, it woke everybody up and, things needed to change. But Optimus also protected his people. Like you said, it was a stalemate for 10 years, but it was still a stalemate. He was not a perfect leader, and he had a lot of learning to do as far as being a good leader went. And he was never unjustly, I don't know, he was never unjustly, like, rude or stupid on purpose. Does that make any sense, or am I just way off?
No,
here?
it's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, if Optimus didn't take the head of things, there wouldn't have been any Autobots. Kind of saved his people from extinction, but also destroyed his world. So there's that, like you stated earlier, which I totally agree with. He did a lot of bad things, but mostly I think what he did was good. He led his people to the place that they need to be under the right leadership.
Well, my value isn't that Optimus didn't do any good. It's that when you compare them, Rodimus's accomplishments outweigh Optimus's. Ooh, hold on. Let me go ahead and... Actually, Bossasaur, I think the Discord account I may have added you on with my old one, they got yeeted into oblivion because Discord doesn't like the fact that I went after predators. So let me see if I have you on this account. I think I do, though. I do not have you. So I will send it to you on the book face. And I'm going to be... And don't worry, Grim. I will be getting to your comment in the stream here shortly. But I want to make sure I get Bossasaur the link he needs.
I think Rodimus did have more accomplishments, but I think Optimus's accomplishments were bigger and better. Does that make any sense?
I can understand where you'd get that, but I genuinely don't agree. Because his accomplishments to be better would have to be more than just stalemates. And 9 times out of 10, it was that. And the bigger issue is that Optimus, he never pressed his advantage. And I did an entire video about this, and it made quite a few people angry, because there's another gentleman who posted my videos in a group without me knowing about it, and it really riled them up. Which is fine, but the entire reason Optimus died, people like to blame Rodimus for. But Optimus is the one that stood there jawing for 30 seconds instead of plugging the war criminal.
Absolutely right. I do wish Optimus would have been a bit more, pro-choice and murdering.
All right, real quick.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Objection. He drove off Decepticons because Unicron left Cybertron in a chaotic state. While it is true that the Cybertron was in a chaotic state, driving out deeply trenched enemy combatants is very difficult. And if you need evidence of that, all we have to do is look at Vietnam or the Middle East or any other conflict or any basic siege. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Cool art, dude. Nightworth. Thank you, Kier. I appreciate it. Optimus didn't have at least an F cup. I wouldn't trust. Doggone it. You even want Robo-Tits. Does the time frame for this debate include Victory, Headmasters, and Master Force, or just season 1, 2, 3 plus the movie? The latter. It's only the G1 American cartoon. Because otherwise we're going to get into some wild territory. Let me go ahead and see if Bossasaur has hopped down into the spawn point. He has. All right, let me go ahead and move him in. Actually, I better message him. Hop in. Stream waiting. And I'll pull you in. Bossasaur is good people. And at some point in the near future, I want to bring him on and talk nothing but dinosaurs one entire stream.
Oh, Jesus.
Dinosaurs is freaking rad. Like in content. Let me go ahead and move him in.
Cadillacs and dinosaurs is better.
Oh, I don't know, man. You might get an argument here. How's it going, man?
Oh.
Can you hear us?
bad. Not too bad. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can
Yeah,
hear
we can
you.
hear you.
You been doing all right?
Yeah, I'm getting an echo here. Let me turn off the YouTube audio.
Sure.
So, hey, what's up?
Oh, I initially decided to do this stream because some people got very upset about some videos I did, and I decided to see if they could actually make an argument. And instead of anybody from those threads showing up, this gentleman from my chat showed up, and so did you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I mean, this was hotly debated back when I was 12 years old. So, this,
It was. It
but
still is.
oh yeah, I remember when Michael Bay tried to do his little thing where he wanted to piss off all the fans and say like, "Oh, we're gonna have Rodimus Prime because Optimus sucks." It's like, Michael Bay, you suck, okay? Like, don't try to, you know. But I mean, I have a bit of a unique experience with the Rodimus Optimus debate because I actually played on a RPG, an online RPG Mush for 5 years, Transformers 2K5 as Skylinks. So I played with people who played as Rodimus, and one of them was pretty good at it. And I started looking at it not so much as like Optimus is better, Rodimus is better. It was more like what kind of characters are they and where are they in their life cycle as a character? Optimus had no room to grow. He had already grown. We got to see him as Orion Pax, but when we get to see him after that, he has made his entire leap and growth as a character.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get to see him grow. 1 minute he's Orion Pax, and then the only thing else we know about him is the hero, the Superman, that you get, you respond to, that introduce us to Transformers. Whereas Rodimus, I think, is a more compelling character because he gets dumped into the deep end out of nowhere. I mean, we didn't know him before the movie. We didn't know who he was. We don't know where he came from. We don't even know how old he was. Was he built recently? Was he built a million years ago? Has been on Cybertron all this time? We don't know anything about that. And the fact that he's still this young kid and he's been given all this responsibility gives you this story arc that's really good. And that's why I've often said that the burden hardest to bear, which is the final episode of season 3, is one of the best episodes of Transformers ever because you see that growth. You see him growing and becoming someone new. Return of Optimus Prime kind of throws all that stuff out the window, and it hurts Rodimus more than anything. So that's pretty much my opinion on the whole thing, is that you have a story arc with Rodimus. You don't have a story arc with Optimus.
That is true. Actually, season 3 is my favorite season of the original show, and
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, it's because they decided to experiment more with the writing, and they gave Rodimus a character arc. Unfortunately, it wound up being, hilarious because, the episode he's finally like, you know what? I fully accept responsibility. I'm fully confident now. The very next episode, Optimus Prime comes back. But it's
that was ridiculous.
yeah, it was really solid writing. I really enjoyed that season more than any other season, and I think that Rodimus gets a lot of completely undue hate due to more of an emotional bias than anything else. Because a lot of people put a lot of blame on Optimus's death on Rodimus instead of either. And I actually had this conversation with Rodimus Primal, and his statement is fairly true in my opinion that. The only person technically responsible for Optimus's death is probably Megatron, but at the same time, Optimus probably shouldn't have talked and should have just plugged the idiot. And of course, we're talking outside of the scope of what they needed to do for writing, because that's the only real fair way to argue this.
Yeah, see, what I've often said to people who argue this, and I'm like, do you like Beast Wars? And obviously you do. I don't know about the other guest here. But Beast Wars, if you look at Optimus Primal's arc, that's Rodimus's arc.
Mm-hmm.
And Beast Wars basically gave us Rodimus's story in the form of Optimus Primal. Because Optimus Primal is nothing like Optimus Prime. He is an unsure, young leader who doesn't know what he's doing, and by the end of the story, he's in charge, he's doing all the right things. But he's kind of a screw up, at the beginning. And he lives Rodimus's arc, so like you can kind of see Rodimus vicariously through Optimus Primal.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I did like that series of Transformers, and I don't doubt any of Rodimus's merits or how good of a leader he was. I just think it might be an emotional tie for me, as well as just nostalgia or whatever it is. But I think Optimus was the better leader simply because, he saved his people. He had the arc before Rodimus had his arc, all of that fun stuff. And I just think he was better. And I totally get everybody's point of view, and I'm totally 100% behind you on it. I agree with you. So I think the debate is I lose and you guys win.
Well, the funny thing is, like,
I'm not debating. I'm just telling you my ideas.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. When I think debate, I think friendly conversation without like mudslinging, and I think that's what Leo wanted. So that's why I came on.
No, actually, in the case of all that, I was curious initially about whether or not a lot of these really, really visceral people would actually have an argument, like an actual argument to make if they got into a voice chat. Because a lot of people, not me, because I'm sure like Mike could tell you, I'm basically the same way everywhere, whether it be in text or whether it be on internet or whether it be in person. I'm always just really, really intense in terms of what I talk about. But a lot of these people, they didn't respond to the video as in to dissect it in terms of proposing a counter argument. It would just be, Rodimus sucks. He doubts himself. Optimus didn't doubt himself, as though that was somehow a metric for how good of a leader you are. Or some of them would just get really mad and insult me personally. So I'd have some fun back, and I would say something along the lines of, look, I know you like Optimus, but he's not your dad. He's never going to love you. And then they get really mad. And I had one dude, because again, my video was posted in a group, not by me, but by another gentleman who I believe is watching this stream right now. He may not comment, though. And I'll get to the chat here in a minute, guys. Sorry. And I went in the thread, and I'm like, yeah, actually, I'm the guy who made this video. And one dude was like livid. He's like, you don't have any evidence that you made this video. You're probably lying to us. And I said, go check the pinned comment, because what I did in the pinned comment was I changed the pinned comment, and I said, I put in his name, touches his PP to RC every night, and I made that the pinned comment on the video. And I knew he would never look at it because he didn't want to be wrong, so I screen capped it and posted it. And this grown man in his 50s got so angry, he reported the post, and I was on a 30-day Facebook ban.
Well, as a former corrections officer, whether there be 3 inches of steel or a keyboard between you and somebody else, everybody's a hero. You know what I mean?
Yep. In their own mind, if nowhere else.
Right? So it's whatever. We all like this stuff. That's all that matters. We all have different opinions, and if you can't take another opinion, maybe you shouldn't be on the internet.
John Caulfield says that I haven't given an argument. Well, my argument is that Rodimus is a better character because we get to see more of him and his growth. But if you want to talk about a better leader, Optimus is hands down a better leader. And you want to know why? Because he has 4 million years of experience. So if you want to talk about leadership by, just by the basics, I'm going to say, yes, Optimus is a better leader. But if you're going to, I'm just telling you, I think Rodimus is a better character, and I enjoy watching him grow.
A few things. First of all, my metric for who I determine better leader comes down to accomplishments, and that's why I go with Rodimus. As far as tenure goes, I mean, how many of those years do we actually count? Because he was unconscious for a lot of them. But in terms of John here, John's a very very passionate young man. He's a teenager. So John, if it's somebody I'm speaking well to, it's probably a friend of mine. So I'm going to ask you to show them a little more respect. Let's see here. Had some more questions. I want to go ahead and answer.
Oh, I didn't feel disrespected at all.
No, but I just try to make sure people understand that. When are we going to have the real debate? T versus A. The answer is hips for me. I can't speak for these other 2 gentlemen, but that's my answer because my wife's got some nice ones. So. I'm a pepper. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? No, but I do like Dr. Pepper. Let's see here. Kecker's boy. Keckers, I could never pin down how old you are because I always thought you were like closer to Couch Boy's age. But now I'm seeing you were also on the 2K5? Like, what the heck? And apparently there's somebody named John G, Boss of Sword, that knows you.
Probably.
He said, I played on 2K5. Susan was Rodimus. I got Skylink's fanfic about Skylinks. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Were you Ramjet, John G?
I guess we'll find out. It'll take them a minute to figure out. Let's see here. Opal wants on. Oh, boy. You guys are about to be submitted to Opal.
That's okay.
She's a good kid. She's just a little wild. Let me go ahead and bring her in. She's probably going to talk to you about Chuck E. Cheese, Five Nights at Freddy, and Sonic the Hedgehog. So let's find out.
Okay.
But yeah, I sort of weigh things by character and, what character really, caused an emotional reaction for me, and that's kind of where I go with the Rodimus versus Optimus debate. It's less about who's a better leader and more about who's a better character.
Ah. All right.
I think.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and by the
are-
way, I
we-
hate the characterization of Optimus in that thing on Netflix. That's
Oh yeah, same.
yeah, it's terrible.
It is. It's
That's
bad.
that's garbage.
We're
No-
ignoring the real issue.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay, so we go like Ompus, we got Rompus, whatever. We're ignoring the real threat here, Opalist Prime.
If that ever happens, I will personally commit Sudoku.
I'm gonna be in the next series, and you guys will all be targets.
No. Bad Opal. Bad
That's-
Opal. No donuts.
I've never asked once for donuts.
Too bad. You're not getting them now.
This stream
Okay,
isn't-
John G, I know who you are. Sorry,
This-
I'm sorry to speak over you.
It's fine. This stream is not angry enough. This is a debate.
Oh, Opal,
Cool.
these are actual friends of mine. I've known. Well, Landon here, I just recently met. But Bossasaur, I've known for a few years now.
He did nice
You've
work
yelled
for me.
at me before. Why can't you yell at them when their opinions are not yours?
Because of
I don't like
Uh,
Super Cats.
If you want me to revert back to, my 20-year-old self, I can sit and argue about dumb shit, but I don't know. I got to the point where I'm just like, I just let people like things or not like things. I don't
Yeah.
really get into it. Like, I have friends who love the Bayformers. I can't take them. I liked Bumblebee. That's about it. But
So did I. Bumblebee
yeah.
was
yeah.
like Opal, there's also a difference between you and I having an argument about something concerning real life, and them and us having a friendly chat. That's not even much of a debate at this point about fictional characters and who's a better hero or who's a better leader between them.
I want
Yeah.
blood, or in this case, oil, I guess.
Opal, if you
Oh,
want.
we need to get.
Oh my God.
Go
Opal.
ahead. Sorry.
Child, why don't you go find your own blood? Go pick a fight with somebody else.
Okay, I'll pick a fight with you.
All right, what would you like to fight about?
About how people came here for the entertainment.
Okay, and what?
Are you calling me boring?
No.
Is that what's happening right now?
No, Opal's just being goofy.
No.
She's just being
Yeah, it's all
goofy.
good.
She's a
No, I
good,
get it.
She's a good kid. I thought you were spending time with one of your little friends today.
I am, but right now just quiet time.
Opal, don't be rude to your little friend.
They're gone right now. My friend is okay. We came here because they needed to be a ride for Alexis for a date that they had, and they're on the date, and I'm sitting here.
Wow, that went from funny to depressing real quick.
Yeah, it's real sad. I'm sorry.
How is that sad?
Multiple
you
ways.
were invited over to a friend's house. Now that friend went on a date and left you at home.
Well, my boyfriend is here, and that's fine. He's playing the video games, and so I'm here.
Oh, is he playing the Bing Bing Wahoos?
Absolutely.
I see. Are you ready for?
But
Zoom?
yeah, I mean, if you want to get a rabid Optimus, fanboy in here, I'm all for it. I'd love to hear that.
I
More like Octopus.
oh my
yeah.
God.
Oh my God.
Oh no, I don't think they're showing up. Unfortunately, I think that 9 times out of 10 when I deal with the rabid ones, they don't have an argument and they go into ad hominem and they suck at it. They don't know how to actually insult somebody.
Mm.
Real quick, Sean Huffy. Yes, I did see your last comment. So let me be very, very clear here. I have no problem with you being here. I have no problem with you generally commenting. But if you get stupid in my comment section again, I'm going to slap you. This is not the type of comment section where I don't interact. And this is not the type of comment section where I sit there and cater to your every feeling. If you're an adult, I expect you to act like one. Lio show Opal a death compilation of Starscream. She'll just be very confused because she doesn't know or care about Transformers.
I like RC, the pink lady.
She likes the pink lady because the pink lady has nice shapely legs.
I need to meet her still. I've never met her.
Susan Blue, she's really nice.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah,
RC
she's like.
isn't real.
You don't say.
I want to remind her that she was in Friday the 13th, Part 7.
Let's see.
She gets
Wow.
killed by a weed whacker.
Well.
Optimus can't beat Liger Zero Catman. I will take your word for it because I've never seen Zoids, but I have seen Galgaigar, and I'm pretty sure he could whoop a Liger.
I don't think anything can beat Genesec Galgaigar. Like,
Well, I mean-
like we're talking like Unicron would have a really hard time with Genesec Galgaigar.
Yes, he would, but I mean, I think Demon Bane might have a shot at it.
I don't know that one.
Demon Bane's like,
Is it like this? It's me. I'm Bane.
no, not that one. Demon Bane is
Oh,
a specific mecha that's like, although he's fun in fiction, he's kind of the playground kids. I have all the powers character.
He might be a mecha, but he a beta.
That's not how that works, Opal. My dear sweet Opal here is the exact opposite of my taste. Whereas I like things that are hard-lined and super aggressive, like mecha and fantasy adventure and sword stuff. She's like, I like the pastel colors and I like Powerpuff Girls.
I like Powerpuff Girls for very complex reasons. You have not asked me my in-depth opinion, and
Well,
so
I-
you could not slander me once again.
I mean, I could say something that I think would probably piss Leo off.
You're welcome to take a
Do
shot
it.
at it.
I like Steven Universe.
That's fine.
I thought you didn't like that stuff.
I don't like Steven Universe in some cases. I think it's a
Steven
neat
is a pussy.
I think it's a neat I think it's a neat concept. I think it should have been explored differently. My issue with Steven Universe is less of I hate it. It's dumb and stupid and or gay and or fake. It's more of there's a lot of potential here that it just did not meet, and I don't care for how they coach certain lessons.
Steven Universe is fake and gay.
So if you're expecting like the quartering levels of angry and shouting ridiculous statements about the cartoon, I'm sorry, Bossasaur. That's not how I tend to do about that. I am terribly sorry. If you want to hear me rage about a cartoon, sit me down in front of an episode of Fred the Coconut and we'll talk.
if you
I don't know
want-
what that is, and I don't want to know what that is.
You're right, you don't.
Thank-
If you want anti-Steven Universe content on the Leo Convoy channel, please harass him in the comments to let me upload a video and I'll do it.
Oh no. There are no women on the internet. Isn't that a rule? No, not quite. I say Optimus because Rodimus needed Prime's help. Prime needed the help of all the other Autobots. That's why he had the Matrix. So I think Hot Rod sucks for killing Prime, and not Hot Rod didn't kill Prime. Megatron and Prime's bad decisions killed Prime.
Optimus's horrible choices killed Optimus.
Correct.
Optimus Prime is a square.
Well, yes, he's very boxy in shape.
he's several squares.
That is the one thing that Optimus always did was like, I have this monologue prepared. Please listen to me while you're on your knees, Megatron. And the one time Megatron was like, I don't want to listen, Optimus died. Like, I mean, right?
Yeah.
Eh?
I sat
Optimus
in those.
Prime will
I-
kill and then monologue.
Oh no.
He did not kill Prime though. Roboit. I'm not good at words. He didn't kill Optimus. Like, even I know that, and I'm a pro Optimus guy. Like, he didn't. He just Optimus killed Optimus. Damn it,
Yeah.
people.
Well, the thing is that what happened in Transformers the movie. I mean, Optimus is, he's Optimus Christ now.
Right.
But what happened in Transformers the movie was very in character for Optimus Prime. That, like, he's just like, fine, I've had it with your shit, but I'm going to talk to you anyway because I really don't want to do this. And then he died.
Yeah.
And that's why they should have.
But I mean, it was not against character. So
The Autobots would have won that war years ago if they put Grimlock in charge.
okay, they're what's Andrew Wildman.
Well, Grimlock is strong, and he did save Optimus several times.
Yes.
Hey, Grimlock's my friend on Facebook, and I love that guy. He's always saying nice things to me.
He's a fantastic individual. Like it.
You know who would have been better at leading the Autobots? Ectotron. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god. God. Those crossovers.
I
are
have
so
the
doggone
toy.
good.
I know nothing about the character because I haven't read the comic yet.
Oh, they're fantastic. He's a sweet little innocent scientific boy who's the best. I'm
Good
sorry.
Lord. I mean, it's still not as weird as the My Little Pony Transformer crossover, so I guess it's okay.
That's really weird. Yeah, yeah.
Pinkie Pie is epic, and you just don't understand. I haven't watched it, but I will defend it.
Well, it's a comic book, so you can't really watch it.
Yeah.
Also,
I
Pinkie
will defend
Pie
it.
is like an eldritch abomination. She cannot be contained or defeated. She is just a force of nature. She's neither good nor evil.
you see, the thing is, Grimlock would be the better leader because Grimlock think grammar may be important, but big bicep importanter.
Yeah, plus Grimlock was laser proof. Like, it didn't Megatron hit him a couple of times previously? He was like, oh, this is fine.
Me, Grimlock, love stupid enemy.
Right?
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem with Grimlock, though, because I do love Season 3 is my favorite season. Why did they give Grimlock a lobotomy? Why did he go from, SOS Dinobots, where he almost kills Prime and Megatron in the same episode, to I am now a waiter who's delivering drinks at a party?
What's even a weirder question than that is why in the world did the Masterpiece Japanese version come with everything from the catering set for that one specific episode? Why?
Yep, that's the one I have.
Is it? I can't remember. Didn't that have an apron that came with it?
Yes.
Oh my
Apron,
God.
a tray set. I think the apron has a little bow tie on it. That's all in the box. So it's just sitting in the box. The figure is out, but the apron is in the box.
Just good Lord, what were they thinking?
Money.
I mean, I don't even think it's money now. I think that Japanese just said, this is going to be really funny. Watch this.
I
That's
would
right.
totally watch a show about robots like having dinner.
Oh my God.
We need to do that.
Though. Like,
Can anyone do any good impressions? We can all have like a little,
Role play.
yeah. Just sit here and have robot dinner.
Nah, I think we're good on that one. But
I mean, according to Michael Bay, there's robot heaven. So I mean, why can't we have robot dinner?
I mean, that dates back to at least the comics. So, and yes, I know Venkman and Grimlock did become leader during the U.S. Marvel run. I also know Blaster was for a while too. So that was an interesting little back and forth. Real quick, what mecha would you want me to? What mecha thing would you want me to debate? Because you keep going on about it. Like, let's see here. Just a quick nerdy horror correction from Joe Amato. Susan Blue was killed by a bush hook or a brush hook from Jason, and it was Dr. Cruz that was killed by the weed whacker. Why am I not surprised? That's the one thing Joe Amato comes in about.
My apologies, Joe. It's been a few years, but you are correct. Now that I think back on it, I'm old. My brain no work much more anymore.
So is Joe, and we need to go bully him and take his lunch money. What little there might be.
So, Leo, when's the video about Robot Jocks coming out?
There's the Crow video.
I've never even heard about Robot Jocks.
It is the best horror Mecha movie ever.
Oh, I never
bad.
I never watch horror movies. They bore the living daylights.
Oh, it's not a horror movie.
It's not a horror movie. It's a robot fighting movie. It's like the precursor to like Pacific Rim, but it's like they made it in '89 or so.
Oh no!
And there's a dude who jumps through a window to his death for no reason.
It's great.
Like he's like Yahoo, just dead. Like what?
Okay, real quick. Kung Fu Havoc 2 says, did you guys read the old Marvel comics when both G.I. Joe and Transformer comics crossed over and Cobra Commander changed Megatron into a tank after he was turned into Galvatron? That's actually not correct. In the American comics, Megatron never got changed into Galvatron. So, which is interesting. The Galvatron
in the American comics is from a different alternate universe, and Unicron pulled him in.
And I love it. I love Crazy Galvatron too. I love him to death.
And then link to Robot Jocks in your Discord.
Oh
so
no!
Go have a gander.
Oh, I'm gonna regret this. Somebody asked, Aquamarine asked, Gurren Lagann versus a Gal Gar. I mean,
I don't like Gurren Lagann as much because he has like no upper limit. Whereas Gal Gadot is almost basically a robot god. So I guess he has no upper limit either. But he's really cool and screams a lot and sounds like Link.
I just love any mecha that has a lion in the chest. That is my aesthetic.
Yeah. Gal Gadot is Predaking if Predaking were more awesome than Predaking already is.
I want
And also sounds like Link and screams a lot.
I want a Soul of Chogokin genetic Gal Gadot, and I'm getting tired of waiting.
Oh, I hope you got $1,000 lying around.
If I would pay it for that, I would pay it. Just like
I might too.
right. God,
I bought the Unicron, so I'm waiting on it. It's supposed to ship anytime now, so
it's gonna be in March.
Mm.
They just announced that.
Yeah, I saw the shipping pallets and stuff. I'm like, ooh. Like,
You're waiting to get your giant robot beach ball in, huh?
oh yeah, I can't wait to turn it into a robot and then never touch it again.
Doubt. Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, so let's see here. Do we have anything else going on here? Let's see here. I got 3 of those. LOL. Optimus versus Krang.
Sorry, it wasn't exciting.
Okay.
No,
It's fine.
though.
It's fine. I kind of needed something a little bit chill. It's been pretty intense this week. Optimus versus Krang. Who would win? I mean, it depends on which Krang. We're talking about the original Krang, because I think it may be Optimus being very confused by Krang lecturing him and using really weird terminology. Remember Snake Eyes and Bumblebee 2, the old Marvel comics, happened as Zarkin killed Serpentor. Yes, he got shot in the face. That was hilarious. And yes, I did like the therapy episode for Galvatron. I actually want to do a commentary on that. I got so much I want to do on this channel.
Oh, I love that episode.
Yeah, I'm actually going to break down like Transformers and mental
Webworld.
health. I love that. I love that episode, especially when he's sitting there and like in single study and he's supposed to be assembling things and he winds up somehow making a gun.
I hate Ultra Magnus. I hate the Autobots, and I'm not very fond of you.
either. Tell me what comes to your mind. Rip, mangle, destroy.
Yeah, he was going a little Freddy Krueger in that episode.
He drove.
And Freddy be like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go over here.
And I'm out.
He drove an entire planet insane.
Mm-hmm.
I just like that there's an entire 30-second scene dedicated to filling out paperwork. Like this giant robot and these giant humanoid ape things, and they're filling out mental health paperwork.
No, you got to do your HIPAA, man.
Yeah, that's very
Sign-
important for running a
Sign
business.
here, and also here.
Yeah, I just got my eyes checked today to get a new pair of glasses. I had to fill out HIPAA stuff. I'm like, come on.
Opal's gonna watch that episode of Web World, and she's gonna get really mad because it doesn't portray mental health in a realistic way.
Well, I don't know what it is now, but I'm already upset.
I like her.
Oh, Opal's a complete riot. She's a real sweetheart when she's not very angry and yelling about not getting enough attention.
I've just kind of zoned out because I don't know who these people are.
Cool. All right. Well, we haven't heard.
No,
any-
not you people, like Gao Gaigar.
What do you mean by you people?
Uh-oh.
I've been called racist once again.
Wait a minute. Again? What?
I tease her
I
sometimes
saw-
when she says really goofy things that are said out of ignorance, and I tease her about it.
Gonna get Opal to call out post on Twitter.
I would, but I'm still suspended on Twitter.
Womp womp.
Wow. Twitter is... I just go on Twitter and yell at Jim Jordan daily. That's just my thing I do. And I won't get into what I yell at him about, but I can't be suspended from Twitter about it because they are allegations. And I'm not calling him names, and I'm not threatening his life.
Can Optimus Prime beat Liberty Prime? God, who's Liberty Prime again?
I don't know.
I don't know. They made too many primes. I can't keep up with all the primes.
Like Liberty Prime, like the Statue of Liberty when the Ghostbusters turned it into like the walking statue. Is
Okay.
that it?
Yeah,
I
well,
think
you could.
that might be it. I don't know.
Yeah, you can control it with the NES Advantage, man.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
we need is the ultimate showdown of Statue of Liberty. We need the one from Ghostbusters 2 versus the Statue of Liberty cannon from Neo America from G Gundam.
No, we need the big Liberty robot from Fallout to fight you.
Me? What? Me? It will
You can take
lose.
it.
It will lose.
Yeah,
We
if you
need
wanna-
more Fallout content on this channel.
Oh my God.
My friend lives Fallout, so he could
What?
probably
Epic.
talk some. I think he has over 400 hours on Fallout 4,
Oh, jeez.
and he just restarted it like this week. So that's his baby. That's his game.
I love that this has just devolved into a chill conversation. I don't mean that sarcastically. Like, it's been an intense week.
Robert, fuck off.
Is your boyfriend flirting with you?
No, he's trying to blow raspberries on my stomach like a baby.
That's weird.
That's right.
How many babies come up to you and blow on your stomach?
No.
It's a really weird image in my head now. Thank
He's
you.
trying to embarrass me now. He is the embarrassed one, and I have won.
That's not how that works. Oh my God, child.
It is how it works, because I won.
But yeah, if you want to do any commentary stuff, I'd love to do commentary, especially on Call of the Primitives.
Ooh, Call of Primitives was a really interesting episode. Real quick, since you know a lot more about wrestling than I do, don't you, Bossasaur? I can't remember. Are you a wrestling guy?
I am a wrestling guy.
Okay.
My family is.
I'm very like critical of the current product, so I will probably say something that someone won't like, but whatever.
Well, I don't know anything about it other than back in the 90s there was this thing called Hulkmania, and I did like Macho Man's Gusto, and I didn't know that Sergeant Slaughter was a wrestler. I thought he was a G.I. Joe character for the longest time. But I've had like 2 people compare me to somebody named Jim Cornette, and I don't know who that is.
Jim Cornette is a friend of mine, and whenever I see him, I bring him hot sauce from Quaker Steak and Lube because I'm from the Pittsburgh area, and he loves the lube, and he always eats there whenever he's in the area. Jim Cornette he started out as a photographer in the Louisville area back in like 1963 or so. He, as a little kid, he's like 9 years old, and he basically was born into wrestling, and he gets it, but he gets the old stuff. And like I said, I consider Jim to be a friend of mine. Hi, Jim, if you hear this, please don't kill me. But he tends to rage quite a bit, and while a lot of people take a lot of what he says very seriously, knowing the Jim that I know, it's a character, and it's the same character he's been playing for 30 or 40 years now. So, but yes, he's very, very critical of things. He flies off the handle. He has a podcast, and he's very, very liberal. So I kind of like agree with him a lot. So he tends to fly off the handle on politics quite a bit. So it's fun to hear that. If you need something like, if you listen to his podcast, he's gonna talk about wrestling, and you may not understand that. But whenever he starts going off on Trump and all that stuff, then that's the kind of stuff that you would be able to understand. And
it's actually why I'm asking, because I went and looked him up afterwards, and I saw this podcast. I didn't understand anything he was talking about.
Oh, okay. If you listen to the Jim Cornette Experience, that's where he'll do his political stuff and then go to wrestling. But if you do the Cornette's drive-through, it's just wrestling. It's only wrestling.
You're talking like managers of XYZ thing and some event back in the 90s or something, and I'm like, I don't know any of this.
Yeah, you really need
lost.
context. You really need context to really understand his wrestling stories.
Also, I would be severely surprised if a random guy that was in the old school wrestling industry showed up to watch a stream about Transformers.
You never know what happened.
At the last BotCon, it was in Louisville. I was trying to get him to show up, but he ended up having a show because we were going to go to dinner. But yeah, he was like, yeah, I might go to a Transformers thing because he's a comic book collector.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he wasn't averse to coming and hanging out with us.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt, but Leo, I got to scoot. So thank you very much for having me on.
No problem.
Very nice meeting you, sir, and Madam Opal. So I hope you all have a nice night.
Take it easy.
Madam
Hey, see you. It was nice meeting
once
you.
again.
Lio, tell Opal have seen Disney sequels and which good and worst sequels did ask like 10 times. Apparently, this person wants to know, Opal, which sequels you think are good and which sequels you think are bad for Disney movies.
This is so am I like a Disney Okay. I haven't watched a ton of Disney sequels. I think from what I've heard, the Cinderella sequel is funny and like good. I think that the Incredibles 2, it was weird, but it wasn't bad. I don't know. I don't know much about Disney.
I like The Incredibles. Mostly because I like Helen Parr, but I like The Incredibles.
You need to stop.
No, I don't. You need to stop, huh? Uh-oh. Joe has a question.
Also, Honey Pop 2 is coming out in 3 days.
Joe has a question for you, Opal.
Oh, yes.
Sonic versus Pikachu. Who wins?
I think that you should combine them.
Oh my god, no. Not on this channel. No.
Oh, would it be something like Sonichu?
No!
Would that? That sounds like such a cool mashup. Someone needs to draw that and do a bunch of comics about it.
I'm going to go kill myself in the
I like
angriest way
this guy.
possible.
I like this guy.
No, Bulbasaur, he's like well versed in internet lore.
If you're going to talk about Disney sequels, I can depress you all if you'd like.
Well, it depends on which one.
My father passed away on November 4th, 2011. My birthday is on November 2nd, and my friend had gotten me the Blu-ray set of the Lion King collection.
Oh, goodness.
And I hadn't seen Lion King 2 since it came out on video, which is, probably around 95, 96, something like that. And so about a week after I buried my father, I put in Lion King 2, and I almost had a nervous breakdown in like the opening song.
He lives in you.
Because it's all like, he lives in you, he lives in me. I'm just like, oh my god, why am I doing this to myself? So.
I will disagree with you, Grim. Return to Jafar is not the only good one. Why? Okay, Kung Fu Habit says, are any of you old enough to remember the cartoon Dinosaurs? It may be misspelled. I don't know. Bossasaur, have you ever heard of Dinosaurs?
No, what's that about?
I don't know, man. I think it might be about dinosaurs that came from space.
Oh, wow. That sounds cool. It sounds like a good idea. Sounds like it might have been based on the same premise as Transformers, but they screwed it up when they made it. So,
it sounds like another.
Yeah,
sounds like yet another '80s property that's been dicked with for so long, and nobody seems to know how to handle it.
Yeah, I am very familiar with Dinosaurs. I am a fan. I consider it a guilty pleasure, and I basically like it because of the character of Genghis Rex, whose nickname is Bossasaur. So, a while ago, I decided to make him my internet kind of persona, avatar, whatever. And I'm also a furry, so that's how furries know me. But yes, I know a lot about dinosaurs, and we can have a discussion someday. But I just, yep.
See here. Anyone remember Captain Harlock? Well, of course I remember Captain Harlock, but I'm a bigger fan of Gatchaman. Did you ever see Power Masters? Like the Mattel Power Masters?
I think maybe Power Master Transformers, Power Master Optimus Prime.
I think Grim would be a little more direct about that. I think he might be referring to Power Masters from Mattel, because that's more obscure. Oh no. Okay, Grim, which Power Masters are we talking about? Aladdin.
I'm thinking my mind keeps going to Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future.
Let's see here. I better go check.
I don't think that's it.
Better go check to see what terrible thing Grim has sent me this time.
I have no idea how to contribute to any of these conversations.
Yeah.
It's okay. You can just be there. And
Growing
be
up in
mom.
the 80s was great, although the things that happened in the 80s are probably the reason why the world is the way it is right now.
Well,
But
look at me.
growing
I
up in
had
the
a
80s
good
was fun.
economy.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Like a child in the 80s had a lot of fun, but yeah, our parents and their parents were not being the nicest, and some things got all screwed up, and now we got to fix it, and we don't know how. Especially considering our parents and their parents won't go the fuck away. But anyhow, let's not get into a political rant.
No, this channel is less about politics, despite some people getting very, very angry about that. Like, unreasonably angry about it. Boss, I had one dude, and Opal's going to know what I'm talking about, pull me into a chat and demand that I change my channel's purpose and content to promote a political value he personally has.
Okay. No.
And then someone else said like the N-word or something, and Leo got blamed for it.
Oh no.
But we're gonna go
Yeah.
ahead. Let's see here. There was Power Master Transformers, Captain What, and the Shoulders of Who?
Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future was an interactive show that had some of the first CGI animation on television. It was a syndicated show. I think they made maybe 14 or 15 episodes. And there were toys that came out with it, and the toys could interact with your television. And like, I know people who think very fondly of it. I remember, I mean, I would have been maybe 13 or 14 years old when it came out. I didn't care for it. I liked some of the character designs, but I didn't care for the show itself. And I never had any of the really expensive toys. All I had was the little silver robot guy who flew around. I think his name was Sauron. But yeah, and like, it's a cool concept and stuff, and it was people trying. It was that whole toyetic mindset thing where people were trying to create interactive toys before the technology could really handle it. It's pretty imaginative.
Oh yeah, a lot of toy lines in the '80s did that. I mean, Thundercats was very guilty of that, unfortunately, and that's one reason why it had a lot of struggles. Like, hey, we need the Cat Slayer. We're not just going to make it a basic playset. We're going to give it laser light technology.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that?
Like, I mean, my favorite Transformer is Triptychon. Triptychon, the toy, is really cool.
He is.
He doesn't need to walk. He doesn't need electronics. They
Yes,
just
he
put that
does.
in there like wide.
What's up, Opal?
So,
So
Uh-oh.
I am going to have the chat. You have 1 minute to ask me question if you have question, and after that, I need to go because me hungry.
Well, just go get something to eat, kid.
I will not leave the fans waiting.
You know, one day this kid's gonna take over my channel, and I'm not even gonna know it.
It's true.
sorry.
I'm gonna make you art assets so that way you don't only have the Greg face.
I like the Greg face. It horrifies everyone that sees it. It's my
But I'm
brand.
saying you need. I know it is your brand. Variety in the brand.
The brand's
You're
good
Donald
enough.
Duck. You make cartoons. Then also you sell some orange juice, and now you're profiting double. It's fine. Did you watch Japanese dub Opal?
Of
What?
Japanese dub of what?
Of Opal. It has not come out yet, the Opal dub. But it will once the Kickstarter goes up. So yeah, not yet.
There was no Japanese dub of Thundercats.
I've never watched Thundercats.
Heathen.
I have to withhold my opinion on Thundercats because as a child I was not a fan, but I did like the 2000 series that came out. I didn't get a chance to finish it though, and I'm told that I will be very mad because it ends on a cliffhanger and they never finish the series.
Correct.
So, but yeah, my opinion of Thundercats as a child may not be my opinion as an adult, so maybe I need to revisit it. I do love the outtakes though. Like, I still have those and I still love them.
Those are great. Nothing like listening to Snarf string together a line of cuss words.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Or
well,
Mumra just yelling about,
tits.
you know what he yells about.
I will watch all of these 80s cartoons with Leo if Leo agrees to watch my cool animes.
Which animes is it you wanted to watch?
I don't remember.
Because the ones you watch are kind of worrisome.
They're not.
I said worrisome. I
Don't
didn't
laugh
say
at
gross.
that.
Opal likes esoteric anime that's very much so mood based and somewhat depressing.
I like the kinds. Yeah, that's true. Which animes are my favorite? I like Higurashi. I like Canon 2000. What 6? Yeah, 2006. I like Future Diary. I like
Oh,
Yoko-chan.
that show killed me on the inside. I had a nervous breakdown after Future Diary, and then I just I never wanted to see anyone ever again. Like that
Good.
sure tore my heart out.
I like you, buddy. I forgot your name.
Let's see here. What have you ever watched Bible Man? And if so, what are your thoughts on it? I've never watched Bible Man. I took one look at that and I said no.
Matt loves Bible Man.
I listened to a podcast, if you don't mind me shilling for somebody else.
Sure, go for it.
God Awful Movies by Puzzle and a Thunderstorm, and they do go over some Bible Man episodes, and they're about 250 episodes deep, and not a single episode is not funny to listen to, even if you've never even seen it. But they basically just take aim at Christian cinema, and they tear it up. It is, oh my God, it is the best.
You know,
I've been listening to it for years.
As a Christian, I've always wondered, why does our cinema always suck so much? I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why, but it always does. We had one good thing. We had the Chronicles of Narnia, and after that, it's been garbage.
You know what we need?
Oh,
we need Bible cartoon with death metal cover aesthetic.
I mean, I don't disagree, but we also had Superbook. Let's see here. Did you ever watch Claned, Opal?
I have been waiting to watch Clanad. I heard a lot about it as a kid. And then I had to do middle school and I didn't have time, but then I kind of forgot about it.
Reggie says, I like action anime like JoJo, Violence Jack, and Fist of the North Star. I'm a big Fist of the North Star fan myself.
Wait, what about the anime Rape Man, Opal?
We don't talk about Rape Man.
What the fuck is Rape Man?
It's exactly what it sounds like.
I think here we call it Canola Man.
I think here we call it the end of the stream. I hope everybody had a good night. I'm going to end this before it gets out of hand. You guys take it easy.
Alrighty.